Chicago's next big growth spurt is going to come along the North Branch of the Chicago River. Developers are essentially building a new neighborhood that will function as a satellite downtown, bringing parks, offices, restaurants, and homes to Lincoln Yards.
Now, the project seemed like it was stalled for 5 years, but a lot of work has been going on at that vast site. And tonight, WGN's Mike Lowe has an exclusive interview with the man overseeing the transformation of Lincoln Yards.
There's an old saying that change happens gradually, then all at once. Anyone looking at the empty land and piles of dirt and gravel at Lincoln Yards might have to squint to see the change, and that includes the family of the man in charge of the mega development.
My family always like, I love what you did with Lincoln Yards. I'm just kidding, but no, it's taken a lot.
The vast site is big enough to hold 85 White Houses.
When you're building a city within a city, it takes a lot of planning.
Andy Glore, the CEO of real estate developer Sterling Bay, is converting 53 acres of Northside riverfront property, once occupied by a steel plant and other industrial sites, into a new community of homes, offices, entertainment venues, restaurants, and parks.
This location is, kind of the center point or the melding point, we think, for Chicago. If you look at the industrial corridor, which stretches about 800 acres, it separates neighborhoods. And so I think Lincoln Yards is a way to kind of connect everyone together under a central location. And then the Y in the logo is, the rivers coming together as well.
And for most of the past 5 years, since the project was first announced, Glore has been focused on one of the most complicated environmental cleanup efforts in recent city history.
And so it took a ton of geologists, a ton of environmental experts to figure out how exactly to clean it.
The company spent $10 million cleaning the 27,700 tons of impacted soil and more than 1,000 yards of hazardous lead, removing 36 underground tanks filled with toxic waste and recycling 69,000 tons of concrete.
I mean, literally any environmental issue that you could think of was here. And as I said, it was almost 100 years of heavy metal manufacturing. So it needed a lot of cleanup. And you'll see office and you'll see residential.
But as he looks over a full-scale model, a vision of what the land could look like.
On the north end is Webster, on the south end is North Avenue. And within that is a complete blank slate as to what we can do. And as the Riverwalk continues to get built out, you're going to be able to take the 606 that goes about 3 miles west and take it all the way down to the Riverwalk into the loop.
It's clear progress is finally happening. This is what we see from the Kennedy.
Yeah, it's what you see from the Kennedy. So we're going to completely redo it. So this is the southernmost part of the 53 acres.
Phase 1 of construction is now underway.
Essentially everything that we're looking at here is going to be open green space, recreational fields, park space, river walk.
And the skeleton of the first building is up.
And then every building will have a different architect.
Glore took WGN News on an exclusive tour of the site. To the top floor of the new Life Sciences building.
You have unobstructed views of the city. It's under 2 miles from here to the loop, which is pretty crazy.
Which will create new lab space in Chicago, a key component of the $6 billion development.
On a dollar value and square footage, this will be the biggest development in Chicago.
Crews were working on plumbing and framing for windows. But in the meantime, we had an open, sweeping view of the skyline.
Immediately in front of us is going to be the Steelyard Entertainment District, but then everything else you're seeing up into the river is going to be totally green space. Recreational fields, dog parks.
The master plan calls for a brand new Riverwalk accessible to the public. The project will bring density, some 20,000 jobs, and traffic to the area, but developers are committed to improving the neighborhood's infrastructure.
So we're going to be adding 2 new bridges. The Troop Street Bridge right here, we're going to be starting later this year, which will be an important artery running north-south in between North Avenue and Webster. We're also going to be adding a bridge on Willow Street there.
The project itself hit a few roadblocks over the years.
The zoning committee is meeting right now to discuss the Lincoln Yards project.
The development stirred protests.
Many of us will have a painfully higher tax bill in a few months.
10,000 construction jobs.
And brought political pushback.
24,000 permanent new jobs. That would be called people that would be paying taxes.
It was announced late last night around midnight that Mayor-elect Lori Lightfoot would drop her opposition.
I was very clear with the developers, enjoy this moment in the sun because you're never going to get a deal like this again out of the city of Chicago as long as I'm mayor.
Smaller independent concert venues like the Hideout and the Beat Kitchen worried they'd be crushed by a major concert venue so close.
I understand your reasons for not wanting this. I get that.
Hopkins has huge influence on this. And, he was hearing from his residents that they didn't want the stadium. They didn't want these venues.
Those plans and a proposed soccer stadium were also dropped from the development.
We have subjected it to rigorous community review and oversight.
The city's administration of the TIF system has hurt our schools and our children.
It's riverfront property. It is sandwiched between some of the whitest and wealthiest neighborhoods in the city of Chicago.
There were also racial equity advocates opposed to the allocation of tax increment financing funds to an upscale development in one of the city's wealthiest neighborhoods. They brought a lawsuit to stop the $1.3 billion in financing approved by the city council, but that suit was dismissed. Still, there are those who oppose it.
We're talking about $1.3 billion. That, for context, is about the same amount of money as the mayor put into 10 neighborhoods in her flagship program called Invest Southwest. So for every dollar that's going into Lincoln Yards, 10 cents is going into Englewood through that program.
It's great to see.
Glore says Sterling Bay continues to meet monthly with neighborhood stakeholders to get input and ideas.
We are thoroughly engaged with all the neighborhood groups, like on a monthly basis, and we have meetings to kind of address their concerns. Anytime we're coming out of the ground with a new development, we let them weigh in.
In the city where Daniel Burnham's words still echo, Lincoln Yards certainly is no little plan. And the changes that happen gradually will soon look like progress all at once.
It's going to be pretty spectacular.
In Lincoln Yards, Mike Lowe, WGN News.